Earlier this semester we had you to set up a Google account, and now you're going to use that Google account here in exercise 4 to create a spreadsheet that will help you to calculate some grades. We use this example because a lot of times at the end of a semester students will come up to us and say, hey, I need to know what my grade is. Will you tell me what my grade is so I can know if I've got an A or a B, or what do I have to make on the final exam to make a C in the class? Oh, most of the time we don't mind doing that, but right at the time when students are asking is typically the busiest time of the semester for us. So if you can have a tool at your disposal and the know-how to be able to figure that stuff out, it not only is going to help you, but it will help us also. And it'll help you not only figuring out your grade or what you might have, but it'll help you in life in general to be familiar with tools called a spreadsheet. Now, Google Documents is a powerful tool to me. I really like it. I use it a lot. You can see here I've got 4 folders. I have a folder of family information, a family for my work as faculty athletics representative. I have an old school folder, which is all of my old material from past semesters, and then I have a current school folder that has my has like the syllabus, the class outline, past grade information, and things like that I have saved here. Now, the nice thing about this Google Docs is anywhere you go, you have access to it. And I mentioned some of this in an earlier video, so I won't spend as much time here. Let's just get right into it. Some of the things that you can do is you can create documents. This is like a Word document, a spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet, a presentation. You can create forms, you can have folders. You've got everything here just like you do on a regular computer, except it's all run as a Web 2.0 document, which is where you're interacting with the web and it's saving on the web. You'll learn about that later in the semester. For this exercise, we're going to look at a spreadsheet, so I'm going to have it to create me a new spreadsheet. And if you're familiar with Microsoft Excel at all, you notice that it looks pretty familiar. It's just a bunch of columns and cells. You've got columns A through I here, and you can scroll across farther, and you've got a bunch of rows. You can add sheets down here at the bottom. You can have multiple sheets in your spreadsheet. Let me show you just a few things that you can do with the Excel spreadsheet. Some of the formulas that you'll need to be familiar with. Now, as far as formulas go, you do need to know some about formulas and what you would use them for. And you can go to the help. You can go here to the formulas tab, and it'll help you to build formulas. It's got some of them over here on the right: min and max, sum, count, average. Some of these we'll actually use. Let's go back over to the edit tab, and let's create some data here in our spreadsheet. Let's say that this is exam 1. This is going to be exam 2, exam 3, exam 4, and this is going to be final grade. Okay, now let's add a column to the left here, and let's call this percent, and then we'll call this row the actual grade. So percent of grade of exam 1 that goes towards your final is 10%. Exam 2 is 20%. Exam 3, we'll call it 30%, and exam 4 is 40%. And just to make sure that we have everything adding up to 100, then let's come over here to this cell and let's type in equals the sum of cell B2, which is column B, row 2, through, and the through is specified by a colon, through E2, okay, which is column E, row 2. So what we've just told it by typing this formula in is that we want you to add up everything in the cells between B2 and E2, which will add B2, C2, D2, and E2. Okay? Press enter, and it comes up with 100. Are there other ways to do that? Sure. This is not a very large spreadsheet, so we could easily say we want to go this number plus this number plus this number plus this number equals. You can get the same number. The reason I want you to become familiar with formulas is because if this list up here had 100 rows in it, it would take forever to go through and click each cell plus the next cell plus the next cell. So it's much nicer if you get familiar with formulas. So we're just going to type sum of B2 through E2, and there we go. So this is the percent that each grade is worth. Okay? Now for your grade, let's say on exam 1 you make a 75, exam 2 you make a 90, exam 3 you get a little bit lazier and you make an 85, and then on exam 4 you really study hard and you make a 93. Okay? So what's your final grade going to be? Well, this is the percent that each grade is worth. Alright, so we've got to factor in some weights here. Okay? So how are we going to factor in the weights? Let's make another row. You can do this lots of different ways. I'm just giving you examples. This is not what you've got to do for your exercise. I'm just giving you some examples. Let's figure out the weight of the final average. Let's take this number here is going to be equal to your grade times this number up here divided by 100. Okay? Because this is 10 out of 100 is what this is worth. So we're going to take your score, multiply it times the percent, divided by 100. So this is worth 7.5, which makes sense. You made a 75 out of 100. This is worth 10% or 10 points of your final grade, so it should come out to be a 75. Now instead of retyping our formula every time all the way across, what I want to do is I want to just copy this formula. So what I'm going to do is I've got this cell highlighted in the bottom right hand corner. You get your cursor just right, it'll make the little plus sign. Click there and drag over to the right. What it's going to do is it'll copy the formula and it will automatically calculate the weight of each one of these. Okay? So now all we have to do to get our final grade is do equals the sum of B4, now we're not on B2 anymore, through E4. So your final grade is an 88.2. Again, are there other ways to do this? Sure. You can do it a much more complicated way by writing the formula in one cell. So let's do that just so you can see what it looks like. This equals, we're going to open parentheses here, 75 B3 times B2 divided by 100 plus, okay, see what we're doing? That's the same formula that we wrote down in the bottom here. Exact same formula, B3 times B2 divided by 100 plus, we're going to open another parentheses to keep these items separated. This C3 times C2 divided by 100. Okay, see, now we're going to do the same thing again. We're just going to type it in this time. D3 times D2 divided by 100 plus E3 times E2 divided by 100. Now, everything works right. We've got the same answer. So what we've done is we've taken a set of numbers, we've taken a set of grades, a set of weights, and we've used different methods to calculate the grades. Now, I'm not one to tell you that you've got to do it my way. I don't necessarily care how you go about figuring the answers to the exercises that we're giving you. Some of you are going to be real good at math, some of you are going to be good at formulas, you're going to be able to use some of these tools. The thing is I want you to think about what you're doing, how you're calculating, and then be able to explain it to someone else so that they can understand it.